Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa and Aaron Keller has just done an interview with PC Gamer concerning the future of Overwatch. So we're going to break this down and we're going to talk about this. It's actually pretty good timing because I made a video speaking about the lack of game modes in Overwatch because honestly that is the biggest negative to me right now. The game is fantastic, it's the best game I've ever played, you guys all know this, but it doesn't have enough game modes, and in fact most of the game modes in the game are just all the same really. You fight around a point, whether that be a control point, an area on the map if it's an assault map, or a moving payload. You're all just fighting around one point. So let's get into this and let's get into what Aaron has been saying. Now I actually met Aaron, I think, at Gamescom. I think he stole my chair actually. If any of you guys watched the streams I did at Gamescom, I had this Blizzard chair. I think he nicked it from me. Anyway, let's go into this. This is what he says about quick play. I think ideally we would let the competitive rule set remain the same and then find a way for people to play one hero limit without having to go in competitive. Now this is in response to people getting really angry about kind of troll builds, right? It's very easy to be trolly in quick play because all you need to do is pick 5 Winstons and a Lucio or maybe 6 Divas or something like that. You can do that because that's what quick play is about. Now the problem with Overwatch is it doesn't matter what game mode you're playing, you want to win. It doesn't matter if you're playing competitive, you're playing quick play, you still play to win. Now if you get to the final point on Volskaya Industries and the entire team just switches to Diva and they start diving the point, it's going to be impossible to get them off. We've seen this happen in competitive when there was no hero limit in Season 1. It was like crazy, it was mental. So we do need a hero limit, but they do acknowledge that they don't want to just get rid of an unrestricted hero limit mode because people do have fun playing that. I have fun playing it. Is it a bit cheesy? Yeah, it can be sometimes. When 5 Winstons jump on you with a Lucio, yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. So what they're probably going to do is give us a sort of hero limit quick play, give us the current quick play we've got, and then we'll have competitive. I think that's probably what we're going to see. So yeah, I'm fine with that. I think that's cool. Now this is the big one. This is new game modes because, like I just said at the start of this video, Overwatch doesn't have enough game modes, and you think about the level of polish, like perfection that's gone into this game, to have such a lack of game modes, it's a bit of a problem. Now this is what Aaron says. It's something that we're actively talking about. There's no promise as to whether or not we'll release another game mode. Our big goal for a new game modes is that we want to have an objective that brings a team together. At its heart, Overwatch is a hero-based, team-based shooter, but it has a strategic element to it where teams need to coordinate. Obviously, we don't have one right now. We're talking about some of that stuff internally. Some of the stuff becomes difficult. We get a lot of suggestions from people such as, oh, maybe you could destroy something. But so far, the different mechanics that we've looked at have issues. For instance, if you wanted a team to go in and destroy something rather than control an area, there are certain design considerations to think about, like situations where you team wipe the defense and are left just standing around shooting at something. It feels pretty weird. What, you mean like standing around capturing a capture point when the old team's dead? The great irony is that a game mode like this would probably, by necessity of fair design, end up looking much like others. To balance it right, you'd have to have the team control a space in order to destroy it. Now, that makes sense, right? I want some sort of game mode where you destroy stuff. I don't want, like, just standing in an area capturing stuff, because that's all Overwatch really is at the moment. We all thought, and I was hoping, that Eichenwald would involve some sort of siege element to it. Okay, the payload knocks down the castle door, but it's not exactly like sieging the castle. I was hoping for a new game mode. Instead, we just got a hybrid map, which, yeah, is fine, and it's not even a reverse hybrid map, so it's not like move the payload and then capture an area. It's just the same old hybrid maps we've been getting. So we do need new game modes. He goes on to say this: whatever game mode we come up with, we want it to be viable for all heroes. We hate to create something in which we have to disallow a hero because they're too powerful, or where certain heroes just aren't worth playing at all. For instance, in a capture the flag game mode, you have to start wondering what Tracer does or what Genji does. They're so incredibly mobile, they would be incredibly powerful flag carriers. That's the problem. Now, they've always said this about Capture the Flag. They've always said it would be impossible to implement because if you do it, then Tracer and Genji, they're going to have to be taken out of the game because they would be too powerful. And this is another sort of endemic problem that Overwatch has, where it has such a diverse cast of characters and heroes that to make game modes in which they all work, well, you're really stuck just with the game modes that we've got, and this is bad. We really need different game modes. And I know Blizzard are full of world-class game designers and all of that, but they need to think of some sort of way of freshening this up. It's okay for us guys, right? We love Overwatch and we play Overwatch over and over again. We play it because no game is the same, all the different hero interactions and all that stuff. But there is a large quantity of people out there who will get bored with the same game modes. They don't want to just play King of the Hill. They don't want to play Control is King of the Hill style. They don't want to play Assault. They don't want to play Payload. You know, they want to play something new. They want to play something Overwatch that hasn't really been done before. And this is what they've got to do. They really have to do this. Like, this is the biggest issue I've got with the game, as I said at the top of this video. There is not enough game modes. I am kind of fine with the game modes that we've got, but I can completely understand how people can get so frustrated by the fact there just isn't a ton of game modes. Maybe not a ton of game modes, right? Because if you've got loads of game modes, there's going to cause problems with diluting the community, maybe. Okay, if it's all part of the same sort of matchmaking like auto matchmaking system, then it won't really matter, but you'll still get people who would like to go into a different style of game mode and play something else. I mean, hell, right now you've probably got people who prefer Control Point rather than like the Assault and the Payload maps. But that's just how it is. So they do need to think of something new. What I want you guys to do in the comments is kind of come up with some ideas what you think we could have for new maps. I really want some sort of, like, I mean, what about like like some sort of AI mode? Not a horde mode, but like maybe you have to protect certain things that are moving around the map or something before they get destroyed. But then you've got problems with, you know, you'll just stand a Reinhardt in front of that and a Winston, so you've got double barriers and maybe a Diva, and then you would like use Widowmaker maybe to snipe it from a mark. So you've got loads of problems like that. That's where destroying certain things have a problem, and this is where capture the area becomes the most balanced mode, because you can send the tanks in there, they can brawl with the close combat characters, or you know, the people who are going to get involved in close combat. We'll get onto close combat characters in a second. That's why I said that. And then you've got, you know, other people to sort of use their ranged abilities. I mean, if you look at Iconvolt, this is a very vertical map. It's like Hollywood in that sense, very vertical. Kind of like Gibraltar as well on the second point. In fact, on the first point as well. These are maps where range really is powerful. Like, if you've got a long range on your hero, you can do a lot of damage and a lot of work without really being hit back. And so they need to take all of this into consideration. Now let's move on to new heroes, because this is the very, very interesting thing. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a new hero at BlizzCon, and I hope that we see a new game mode as well at BlizzCon. So this is what Aaron goes on to say about new heroes, and this is very, very interesting. I think that we could definitely use at least one more tank that has a similar profile to someone like Reinhardt, where the whole team can center around this person. But it could happen in a different way. There are a few other things that are needs with the lineup. I don't really want to go into specifics because it will completely ruin any surprise. Right then, so Blizzard want to fill gaps in their roster with new heroes. Blizzard have just said that they want another hero like Reinhardt. They want a tank. They want somebody you can center around. You know what? This is Sombra. I'm pretty sure this is Sombra, because I'm fairly sure Sombra is going to involve some sort of like AoE cloak mechanic or AoE line of sight disruption mechanic. That is going to absolutely be powerful to no extent. What I think we're going to see, imagine this, King's Row first point. You don't have a Reinhardt, instead you've got a Sombra. Sombra drops down her, I think it's a Carly, isn't it, from League of Legends, where she's got that like thing she chucks on the floor and it's like an invis AoE. It'll be something like that disrupts enemy sort of comms or, you know, visual, whatever. So they can't see you, almost like a smoke grenade, I guess. So you're inside that and they don't know where you are. That is so powerful, because if they don't know where you are, then you can attack them from wherever the hell you like. Sure, you could say maybe a Junkrat or a Pharah could just spam rockets into it, but what happens if you're not even in there? You know, there's loads of different ways of doing this. Reinhardt is super powerful in the game at the moment, because Reinhardt is, you know, you stick close to your Reinhardt, you can just, you won't die. You know, it takes a lot of work to get rid of a Reinhardt, and obviously Reinhardt can be nano boosted as well, which turns him into an absolute monster. So I think this is crazy, crazy interesting. I'm pretty sure, I'm going to go out on a limb now and say Sombra is a tank character that has disruptive abilities. She's going to disrupt probably ultimate abilities. She's going to have some form of AoE stealth technology which goes off and prevents people from being seen, or blocks line of sight or something like that. This is going to be super interesting, and I'm pretty sure this is going to come out at Gamescom as well, guys. Not Gamescom, at BlizzCon. Everything sounds the same. BlizzCon it's going to come out at, I'm pretty sure. Also, on the subject of new heroes, let's talk about melee heroes, because if you don't know this, Genji used to be a melee hero. He used to run around with his sword out and slash people. But Blizzard were like, oh god, this is bad, because it was so easy for him to damage people than it was for people to actually attack him. You think how difficult it is right now to attack Genji when he's jumping all over the place, especially when he's close to you. Imagine if he was running around with his sword out slashing you. That's bad, you're going to die. Most of the time he would kill you, and it didn't really feel fun. Genji would dive in, chop you up, and then you're dead and run off, and it's like, oh my god. So there is a gap for melee heroes because we've only got Reinhardt right now, who is a melee hero. Now think about Reinhardt's design. He is a defensive hero, right? Generally, unless he's nano boosted, he will stay there and you go and attack him. It's only when the big fight breaks out on the control point that Reinhardt just starts swinging his hammer around, hoping to smash people in. He doesn't run in. He's not like an assassin. He doesn't go in and take people on. Now, I think this is why he's been allowed to stay in the game, because if he was running towards you and smashing you with his hammer, I mean, we all know what it's like. When Reinhardt is after you at close range, you can't escape. You just sort of accept it and you get your head smashed in and then you die. I mean, maybe Anna could put him to sleep. Maybe May could freeze him if she's lucky. Apart from those two heroes, everybody else is going to get smashed to shit. I mean, maybe a Winston could jump away or something, or a D.Va could jump away, but you're going to get battered, and that's what's going to happen. Now, I don't think what we're going to see, and I'm going to be very surprised if we do see this, but a melee-style hero that goes in to attack people. Now, I spoke about this before, and I said it would be cool if we did have like an assassin-style hero, maybe goes in like almost like the Spy maybe from Team Fortress 2, that goes in and sort of tries to take the back line out. Problem with that is, again, it's a high damage melee character that's going to be difficult to hit, and it's going to have problems. Because think about the two fundamentals you need for a melee character, especially if it's an offensive one. It needs fast movement, because it's just going to die if it doesn't. If it's got high damage, it'll have fast movement and low health. That's just what it's going to be. It's not going to be high damage, high health, high movement, because that would be OP. Look at Reinhardt. Very slow, but high health and pretty good damage. But he's very slow. And Reinhardt is such a big target, everybody can pile fire into him anyway. That's sort of the downside with Reinhardt. So melee heroes, I don't know whether we're going to see melee heroes for a while. It would be nice to see them. But I'm more interested in this whole thing about current gaps that they see in the roster at the moment. What do you guys think are the gaps in the roster at the moment that could maybe indicate new heroes? That would be pretty interesting to sort of know. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it at that. So this is pretty interesting. There's a lot of tidbits of information in this interview if you read into it. Obviously, I've tried to break some of this down in this video. I think BlizzCon is going to be super interesting. So if you're a fan of Overwatch, I would really stay tuned for what's going to happen at BlizzCon when that happens in a couple of months' time. Also, there'll probably be more news coming out before then as they try and build hype, because I will be very surprised if there isn't a major announcement there for Overwatch. Definitely a new hero. Definitely. There has to be. It will be Sombra. I'm pretty sure it will be. And a new game mode. That's what we absolutely need. Alright guys, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. And this has been a bit of a chat about the future of Overwatch. If you enjoyed this video, then subscribe to the channel, like the video. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and I think I'm very close to 20,000 followers, so do follow me. Maybe I'll do a giveaway or something. Yeah. Alright guys, I've been Stylosa, and I will catch you next time. Toodaloo.